Hello, everybody. This is Max Cavalera, and you listen to BackstageAxxess. Stay metal. See you on tour.
Hey, this is Chris with BackstageAxxess, and we are super stoked to have Brazilian metal master Max Cavalera here with us today to talk about the new Cavalera Conspiracy record. Welcome, Max. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today. We do appreciate it.
No problem.
So let's talk about this great new record that's coming out next week, Psychosis. So tell us a little bit about the title, because it's a really good match for kind of the music and the lyrics. Were you trying to tap into something about the whole kind of psyche idea there?
Yeah, you know, the original name of the album was Massacre, but I thought that was kind of a bit generic, and it's been used before. So I ran into the Psychosis word by accident.
Okay.
Just going through when I was writing some of the lyrics of the album, I thought that sounds cool. That's a cool word, but that has not really been used too much, and reminds me a little bit of stuff like schizophrenia or mass hypnosis, you know?
Yeah.
And it kind of reflects the state of the world. It's pretty psychotic right now with all these bombings and killings and hurricanes, and
right.
It's psycho, you know, it's a psycho world. So, you know, with the album cover, with the tribal warrior, with the songs itself, I thought it was like the perfect name, and I think it is. I think it's cool. I think it's a strong one-word name that really fits good with the music, you know. And I think titles should fit the music. I think the album title should reflect what the music is inside the record. I think Psychosis is like the perfect name for this record.
Sure. Now, this album, what kind of sounds were you really hoping to lay out with this record? Because it's kind of a little bit old school thrash, but it's also got some of those tribal type rhythms and things thrown in too.
It's a little bit of everything. It's a little bit of everything combination. Most of it, the bulk of the record, is like the mix of death metal and thrash metal. That's I think it's really cool. That kind of we started that in late '80s with records like Schizophrenia and If There Remains, and I think it's a really unique idea. Not many people did it. I think just a couple bands that did, like Pestilence, Terrorizer, but it was never really, like, today is very separate. Today you have thrash metal and you have death metal, and they don't really mix.
Right. You
know, the thrash metal bands all, you know, Power Trip and Havoc and Warbringer, and then you have the death metal bands like Suffocation, Immolation, you know. So we wanted to put that idea back in the game, you know, put the death metal, thrash metal mix. But we wanted to do more than that. The album also has a noise feeling to it, which is like the new stuff that we listen to, like Full of Hell, Nails, Gates Creeper, God's Flash, you know, kind of like real heavy stuff. So there's a lot of noise throughout the whole record. And there's some experimental stuff on Hellfire with Justin from Godflash singing. And on the title track, Psychosis, which is kind of like tribal. It's a tribal track. To me, Psychosis is a tribal prog song, you know,
okay.
Which is, I think, is the first. I don't think there's never been done before.
I don't think so.
So it was cool. So it was cool to create a tribal prog rock song. I did the rhythm, the riffs. Igor did the drums, and we used the sounds he recorded in Africa. He was in Uganda for some humanitarian work,
okay.
And he recorded a lot of cool sounds in Uganda and brought those African sounds to the studio, and we pretty much created the song from scratch, from those sounds to the tribal beat, and then I put the melodic guitar on top.
And how does the writing process work with you guys? Does he kind of come up with his ideas and you with yours, and you just kind of hash them out?
Most of it is riffs that I write them beforehand. So on this record, I spent like a whole month writing riffs for it, and I was very inspired by this idea of the mix of death metal and thrash metal. So I was listening to a lot of both, like a lot of, listening to a lot of like real heavy stuff, a lot of incantation and necros and a lot of just real heavy stuff. And so I wrote a lot of the riffs, and I kind of make demos with his riffs, and I send them out to Igor and to Mark, and then to Arthur, the producer.
Okay.
And what was really cool, that Arthur actually, when he got the demos, he already worked on it, and he made a mix out of it and sent me back with already some new ideas. And I knew he was the right guy right there when he did that. I was like, this is so cool. He already grabbed some of my riffs and turned them around and turned them into something even cooler than what it was. So right there, I knew that he was going to be amazing to work with this guy, and it was, he was the perfect guy for this record. And then we go to the studio, and then from the riffs we create the songs, and then we lay out the rhythm. But I spend a lot of time with Arthur on every track, because I think the beauty of a record like this is actually that we took time to work on each individual song in the parts. Like some songs have 6, 8, 10 riffs. It takes time to do that right if you want to do it the right way.
Sure.
It's a process that takes time, but the final results, when you do it right, it's always really good. That's why I like records like Beneath the Remains and Schizophrenia. They had a lot of riffs, a lot of parts. We spend the time on them, So I wanted to do the same for Psychosis. Spend the time on the. I feel that we never really spent that much time on the Cavalera records. They were a little bit rushed, especially the second one, and Pandemonium was a bit rushed. We never got the time to sit down and really, analyze each song and make the best out of the song. And we had the chance to do it with Psychosis, so I'm glad we did that.
Absolutely. Now, one of the songs, the first one actually that I heard was Insane. That's been hitting satellite radio and whatnot, which is cool, because I definitely would have never heard it on a radio station locally here. But do you think all those new outlets, satellite radio, internet, it kind of keeps the metal community alive, keep the vibe going?
Yeah, I think it was cool, man. I love the song. I mean, he's the opener of the record, and it's definitely one of my favorite tracks. It's got all these, again, we pay attention on the riffs, so the riffs are really, it's a little bit of a mix of kind of like a Rise mix with Master Puppets a little bit, it's like trash, like Metallica kind of trash with a Rise kind of feeling. And I really like the vocal patterns on it. They really remind me of old Sodom, kind of like really kind of trash vocal patterns, and the really and the chorus I think was really cool. Because the original chorus was I was just saying the word insane, and Archer was like, yeah, that's cool, but it needs something else. So we created all the words that go around the chorus now. So now it sounds cool. It sounds different. It's really exciting now. And I think it's really, I love what Mark is doing. The solos are great, dive bombs and some clean guitars and really, really cool stuff. So it's definitely one of my favorite songs, and it was cool that they chose that to start the whole campaign of the album, and then they picked Spectral War for the second one, which is a bit different kind of a track, a little more mid-tempo with a lot of double bass. But I'm excited. I was happy that they picked Insane for the first track. I think that was the right track to do it.
Very cool, very cool. Well, Spectral War is an awesome tune, too. I love that one. I think that was my favorite off the whole record so far. But
yeah, that came out really good. Like it's a bit like mid-tempo. I heard some people compare a little bit to Morbid Angel, which is cool. I think that's a good measure of. It's always an honor to be compared to bands that we like. So
right.
we love Morbid Angel, so it's great to be compared with them. to me, kind of remind me a little bit of Desperate Cry also, with the double bass.
Okay.
So a lot of the double bass. And I love the ending, too. I think the ending was really cool. We did experimental drumming with a really cool solo from Mark. It's really melodic kind of solo, like really unique and unusual. And the lyrics are about the kind of like the ghost of what war is. You know, it's like the haunting of war through the ages. Especially, there's a lot of Roman Empire connection in this song. A lot of the words connect to the Roman Empire, and we're doing a video for that actually. Paul Booth, the tattoo artist, is doing the video for it. I think it's going to be really cool.
Oh yeah, for sure. Now, what about a tour? Because last year you guys were out on the Return to Roots tour, playing the whole Roots album. Are you going to be able to take this album out on the road at all?
I think we definitely need to. I mean, it's such a cool record that it would be a waste not to, you know. So definitely, I think kind of a package kind of tour would be great, you know.
Okay.
Something like similar to what we did with, you know, Suffocation, Battle Cross, or Immolation and Full of Hell. Having some really cool bands on a package, and having the be kind of a really exciting tour. I think it's a record that deserves to tour because I think the songs are so cool on it. They're going to sound great live, and it would be a shame not to tour for this record. So I think we're going to organize that for next year. Okay, very cool. Now, did you like the concept of playing the whole Roots album, you know, in its entirety on tour? Would you do something like that again ever? Yeah, we had a lot of fun. You know, I think it was very successful. Like, a lot of people liked it. It was packed, and for me, it was very like a therapy, going back in time and playing a record that was already done. And we did some, you know, we paid really good homage to this record. You know, we've really done the right way. I think sonic-wise, sounded great, and you know, we don't have nothing official, but there's a lot of the other records out there, like Chaos AD and Arise and stuff, that I would love to touch it and make something similar to it. But we have to wait to see what happens, because I still have Soulfly on the side. I want to make a new Soulfly record for next year. We have to tour for Psychosis, so we have to wait and see. But definitely it was fun. It was definitely a fun tour. Okay, very cool. And you mentioned Soulfly, so there is new music in the works with that? Yeah, I'm actually writing right now. I'm like collecting the riffs right now and getting the ideas. We already kind of booked for January with Josh Wilbur, the producer of Lamb of God and Gojira and Killer Be Kill. I think he'll be great for the Soulfly record. He's a great producer. I'm excited because I think the album will have a little bit of return to some tribal sounds that I haven't done since Prophecy. Okay. And so that would be cool, you know, to return to some of that, and then so the rest of the album will be a continuation of Archangel. That a lot of people like Archangel, and of course, I think they'll be also somehow influenced by Psychosis. The Psychosis was such a cool record that I'm sure that somewhere in the Soulfly record we'll have the influence of that on top of it too. So it'd be a really cool record to work on it. Very cool. So we got a lot of good things coming up in the coming year. Hopefully we'll see you out and touring with Psychosis, and we'll be on the lookout for the new Soulfly record as well. Yeah, we'll try to be as busy as possible, but it's good stuff, you know. Absolutely. Super cool album. I'm sure everybody's going to love it when it comes out. It's a beast of a record, and I hope to catch you guys out on tour sometime. I'd love it if you hit the States with this one. This is going to be great. Thank you so much. Nice talking to you. Thank you.